Tuesday, E3 kind of proper begins, lots of meetings, blah, blah, blah. Wednesday, same stuff. Thursday, same stuff. Get to the giant bomb thing.
Yeah.
I got some words.
How'd that go?
I got some words. Are we ready?
You didn't, what?
Got some words. So for those who haven't watched it, which I can't believe is probably, once again, like as I am fond of stating, the Venn diagram of people that listen to this and Giant Bomb subscribers is probably the Unity set.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
But just in case you found this through some other channel, they do these live E3 shows where they stream every night of the show and they have different guests on.
Raw.
And they usually get some really cool guests. Like this year they had Phil and Kudo from Microsoft, right? So some A+ tier guests. And they also have idiots like me on there who just run independent studios or whatever.
Lorne Lanning was on
Lorne
there?
Lanning. I got to meet Lorne Lanning.
I know.
I got to meet
How
him.
was that?
He's fucking the best.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Like,
You wanted to be your dad, right? It's
No.
just like awesome.
I was just like,
so cool.
Like, he seems like super genuine.
Yeah.
And possibly nice. Like, I walked up to him in the green room and I start talking to him and Adam's there and Adam's like starts talking to him and Adam's like, you guys don't know each other?
Yeah.
Like, no, I've never met. And I shake his hand and I'm like, hey, I'm actually a huge fan of everything you do and what you kind of stand for and da-da-da-da-da. And he spent like 20 minutes just talking to me.
That's awesome.
Just like chatting me up and finding out about us and what we do and just kind of kicking it and
Just genuine.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Just like a fucking awesome dude, man.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit. I want to be this awesome at any point in my life.
Yeah.
Like, just like, let me just fucking be this awesome once.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, color me a Lorne Lanning fan.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
Holy shit, that guy's rad. There's a bunch of people backstage. I saw Colette she does PR out of the UK. I haven't seen her since last time me and Vinyaki just happened to bump into each other out there.
Yeah.
She does like all kinds of freelance stuff, does some Disney stuff, does some of this stuff.
Oh, cool.
Saw all the Giant Bomb guys, of course, saw Dwyer. Craig came with me, so hang out with Craig. Cool. Saw Vinyaki. Vinyaki finally shows up.
Uh-huh.
And Vinyaki had this amazing idea. He's like, hey, let's go outside. So Vinyaki's all about periscoping now.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, Disney Infinity's John Vinyaki.
Yes.
He's like, let's go outside and periscope like we're furious and we're not going to go on. I'm like, what? He's like, it'll be hilarious. I'm like, I'm not feeling this bit, but you're my boy, so let's go try it. Turns on his periscope, or no, he gave the camera to someone else, and they're like, his phone is looking at us essentially.
Yeah.
And as we're doing it, it just feels like the worst wrestling promo of all time.
Nice.
You know, it's like, let me tell you, Mean Gene, we're not about to go on without green M&Ms or whatever. You know, just like, I'm not feeling it at all. So I just walk away. He's like, hey, man, come back. What are you doing? I'm like, fine, I'm done. This is a horrible bit. I'm out. So we get on, and we get on there, and we're just having a blast.
Yeah.
Right? Like me, Adam, and Vinyaki. For those who don't know, Adam Boy is a Sony, John Vinyaki of, as I mentioned, Disney Infinity, and me. We all came up together through Midway, became fast friends at Midway.
The streets.
Yeah, and have stayed super good friends since then.
Yeah.
Like, they're both some of my best friends in the world, like, bar none, right? And you get us together, and we just start doing our thing.
Yeah.
We start chopping it up, having fun.
Like, you don't want to be in the same room. The three of them are together.
You don't want to be,
just like
one of us is bad enough. Two of us is unbearable. Three of us is just GTFO.
You just need to walk away.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't be around this.
I watched it after the fact, and I actually felt kind of bad for Jeff because he tried so many times to make it a show,
Right.
And we're like, let's get back to the cereal or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like the Hoop God and cereal and just everything. And we're having the time of our fucking lives. Like, I was legit, like, I haven't been having that much fun in a long time.
Yeah.
Because, like, Adam's so busy, I don't get to see him that much anymore.
Yeah.
Vinyaki's super busy, I don't get to see him that much anymore. It kind of sucks that the only time we get to see each other, like, the world gets to see it.
Right.
But whatever, it's like, we're going to chop it up and have some fun.
Right.
And then something goes wrong. Vinyaki, for some reason, gets in his head. So here's his story. Okay, he tweeted out my phone number.
Yeah.
He tweeted out with a message that said, like, hey, call into the Giant Bomb show and we'll put you live on the air or whatever.
Right. Call in or something, right? Yeah.
And so he's in the moment, his story was, hey, I just thought it'd be cool to get some fan interaction. Then why didn't you use your number?
Right.
Yeah. Of course, no, he's being punitive. He thinks somehow I wronged him. And he's like being like, it's like, oh, God. And so I go through waves of emotions.
I imagine.
So at first, it doesn't really hit me that it's actually really bad.
Right.
So he's like, hey, check your phone out. I check my phone out, like 5 texts, 2 missed calls, and there's another call coming in right now. I'm like, realize what happened. Try to take a call and do something on the air with it.
Yeah.
Right. And then, like, the guy on the other end, either I hung up on him or something happened. He never said anything.
Right.
I'm about to take another call, and then it hit me. This is actually a major, major inconvenience.
Yeah.
If not outright.
This is not going to stop.
Outright bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I've got, like, I saw a lot of people posting in the comments afterwards, like, what's the big deal? You just mass text everyone, you list your new number or whatever. And it's like, that works if you're in high school, dog.
Right.
Like, I have, like, I think 1,200 contacts.
Yeah.
Of varying degrees. Some people I probably don't want to have my new number.
Right.
Like, there are people we don't do business with anymore, or someone that never should have my number to begin with or whatever. Like, I don't just want to mass select 1,200 people and send them. And then I should probably also, like, change the message depending on who it's going to.
Right.
If I'm sending a message to a CEO of another company, I don't want to be like, hey, dog, new phone, here's my number.
Right.
Right? And likewise, if I'm sending it to, like, one of my best friends in the world, I don't want to be like, excuse me, my number has been compromised. And now, it's like, so it's like, kind of parsing through, like, because, like, the phone's ringing. It's not stopping.
Right.
And, like, I won't be able to do anything anyway with it blowing up. It's not like I can, like, send this shit.
Right.
So I'm starting to get really mad about it.
You should.
As
you should.
Vinyaki's over there defending himself, and Adam, thank God, was just like, no, this is super messed up.
Super messed up.
And so I kept going through, like, waves of, like, okay, it's Vinyaki, forgive him. Then getting mad again, then waves of that and waves of that and waves of that. And at the end, where we landed with it was he made a mistake.
Uh-huh.
He feels like ass about it. Uh-huh. And I forgive him, and I love him very much. That's where we landed on it. So
wow.
Had to get a new number, kept the phone, new number.
Yeah.
Just because, like, I couldn't deal with it anymore.
Yeah.
Like where it was actually, so after the first night, it did die down a bit. Like, first night was bad. Second day was still a lot.
Yeah.
And third day was like, oh, okay, I'm going to get an Uber.
Yeah.
I get an Uber. And so my thing was, like, if a phone number rings and it doesn't show up as, like, in my contact list, I just don't pick it up.
Right.
No big deal. I'm going to get an Uber. Uber's coming. Phone rings. Don't know the number.
Right. Is it Uber? Who knows?
Is it the Uber guy?
Right.
Or is this some rando from Greenland or whatever, right? So that was actually, like, the thing that tipped me over into getting a new number.
Yeah.
Like, okay, now I need to fucking just wash this away. So whoever gets my number next, I apologize in advance.
And it's like, at what cost, right? It's just like, for the people saying, what's the big deal? It's just like, why should you have to go through that hassle, right? Yeah. What did you do?
Yeah. I still don't know what I did. Like, I was making fun of him for dressing up like Baloo, I guess.
I gotta say, you handled it like a pro.
Thank you very much.
My hats off to you for how well you handled that situation, because that warrants just like storming off the set, just like, fuck you, I'm never talking to you again. How could you do this? Goodbye.
There was, at the very end of it, like, I didn't know this actually happened. So at the very end of it, me and him stayed on the couch for a bit. And someone periscoped that.
Oh, really?
And I hope, like, you couldn't hear us, because that was, like, some actual, like,
probably got raw.
That was some conversation.
Yeah.
It wasn't raw, but it was just like,
it's just personal.
It's for me and him.
Yeah.
And so, like, I found out later someone periscoped that, and I wish they didn't.
That's a shame.
But then after it's all done, it's pretty much just me, Vinyaki, Drew, Jason, and Vinny in the room, and they're wrapping cables. They're, like, tearing down the set around us. We're sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
So let's get out of their way. Let's stop talking, get out of their way. We stand up. Vinyaki walks over, like, to the door, but not through the threshold. And he kind of, like, just gets tensed up and starts rolling his neck out. He's like, okay, punch me.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to punch you. Like, that's not happening.
Right.
Like,
it's like, what do you,
It doesn't fix anything.
There's nothing you can do to fix this. Unfortunately, you've made the decision. You're going to ride this out for quite some time.
And so I think the way I started thinking about it now is, like, when your life gives you lemons, right?
Yeah.
So definitely one of those situations. I think I figured it out. So on that night, I took a huge L, right? Like, that was a loss on every single level possible. Yeah. Like, I guess maybe I handled the situation well, so maybe I went up in some people's esteem, but on every measurable axis, it was a loss.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right? But I think there's a great opportunity here to turn it into a huge W over time.
Okay.
So, like, every time I'm together with Vinyaki now, we're at a show or wherever.
You always got that one on them.
I'll be like, hey, John, how about you want to buy me a beer? Or maybe tweet out my number? You want to? We'll go to dinner. I'll be like, hey, John, do you either want to pick up the tab or maybe just tweet my number to the public at large? One of those two things. And like, oh, I'm so sorry. Let me buy you dinner. It's going to be like this for the next 30 years of our goddamn lives.
The problem is you have to keep that up, though.
Yeah.
Like every time you see him.
I can do that. Okay. I can do that. It's going to be amazing. So I'm never buying a drink or food or anything around Vignacchi ever
So it's
again.
the worst thing and the best thing could have ever happened to you.
Yeah, it was a huge inconvenience. The whole thing probably netted out to about 8 hours of my life just dealing with the phone.
Yeah, and for what, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
So like, once again, woe is me. But like, your friend shouldn't do that to you.
No,
right? Like,
no. But at the end of the day, it was a good story.
Yeah, so we got that, and I'm going to get a lot of stakes out of it. So,
yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Over time, that the value of that 8 hours will turn into immense value proposition for Lang.
The initial investment, while hard to swallow at first,
will pay
out.
Yeah, stark initial investment on prospective gains down the road.
Right.
I hope, but I'm going to do my very best to make sure it all works out. So we'll see what happens.